Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8:03 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. I hope that you're all doing great this morning. If you are like me and my guest today, this weather is actually making you happy. Your soul is just bubbling. It's percolating like coffee in the morning, which my guest doesn't drink. But for some of us, the cacophony of stormy weather and hail and wind and thunder and lightning actually puts you at ease and at peace and makes you feel good, makes you feel happy, makes you feel optimistic. And sunshine does that too with birds chirping, but maybe there's something good to be found in all types of weather, right?
Agreed.
Stormy weather. Since my man and I ain't together. I'm not going to sing. You guys are here for news, not me singing. The time is 8:04. My guest today is Carolyn Chiovino of Express Employment Professionals. How's things? How you feeling?
Good. Good morning.
Good to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You came with the team of the Aurora Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, I did.
It was Jim Mendoza that day. It was Christina Cash, and it was Karen Putnam.
Yes.
Putman. Yeah.
Yes.
We had a great conversation that day.
Yes, we did.
That was really good. And out of that, my friend Marianne Renner reached out. She loves what you ladies are doing. So toss the football that way and look forward to many great things with fantastic women. Your headphone on this side, flip it. On the right side, yeah, get the cushion.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Bring it down.
You would think I've never been in a studio before.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
We got this.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Scratch it up,
yay.
Gabriel. Scratch it up. See, that's the fun, right? Yes. We don't need no cameras for no fun. Time is 8:05. We've got the news that you guys love today, but we'll also be talking about employment. We'll be talking about success. And we'll be talking about people getting jobs and being gainfully employed. So for those who are unfamiliar with you, who are you once again? I gave you an intro, but where you're from and what do you do?
Well, my name is Carolyn Chiovino, and I'm the owner of Express Employment Professionals here in North Aurora. And wow, that's a loaded question.
What do you do? Right.
So my passion is to put people to work.
Okay.
My passion is to leave people better than we found them. People come into our office on a daily basis and they're looking for work. And it's my responsibility to the people in this great community to find them safe, excellent places to work. And it's also my responsibility to our associates that come looking for work to provide them with tools so they can climb up the ladder of success if they want to.
Right.
And we have those tools for our associates, and we provide them for no cost at all. And those are training tools we call Workforce Pro, which is really, as a licensed coach, that's something dear to my heart that we can give to people looking to move up or help them in a conflict resolution, help them learn about diversity and inclusion in the workplace, just help on any aspect that they are looking for.
Right. How has the job market changed during your time? Now we know that for a good portion of it, COVID was a factor.
Yes.
But many things have changed in the job market for the seeker and for the employer. What are some of the things that you've noticed in your career?
Well, I've been in the business for 30 years because I love it.
We only talk to experts on this show. They know that, though. They know that. Curtis got another. Whoa, come on.
Come on now. I love it. I love what I do. So, first of all, for me, getting up in the morning, I'm going to my second home. And I have felt that all 30 years. I think because I'm a risk taker, I love staffing because it's definitely a roller coaster. But back to your question about, what I see. I purchased the business 2 years ago in the midst of COVID. What I saw during the COVID timeframe was individuals, just looking for any type of work. And I saw that people were fearful in the workplace, and rightly so, and leaving the workplace. Okay, and right now we are the benefits are not positive, if you will, because what I saw during COVID is managers leaving the workplace. And I saw people being put into those positions that maybe weren't qualified to be, in those positions.
Right.
But production had to keep working and keep moving, right? So, and unfortunately, the folks maybe weren't trained once they were put in those positions. Sure. And unfortunately, that doesn't benefit the workforce. Okay, it doesn't benefit the person who is supervising people as well. And overall, we didn't know what to do during COVID. None of us did. We were piecemealing and just trying to make things work across the country, across the world. And I think now we have a better sense of what's going on. So moving forward, I see that people were able to work from home. Again, a solution to a problem, COVID. And now I see companies wanting those folks to come back to the work, to the actual facility, to the company. And rightly so, because what people need to understand is, yes, it's wonderful to work from home, but companies are still paying. They are still paying for the building. They're still paying for utilities. They're still paying for the infrastructure. They're still paying for people to work from home. So it's kind of like double bubble on companies, if you will. And that's trending back now. Companies are, sharing with people, okay, let's do hybrid now. So what I see in 2024 is the likelihood of people working from home will be probably an eighth of what it is currently.
Okay. Because, like you said, office space costs money for that company.
It does.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that, the organization still has that duty to pay.
Yeah.
There are some industries, though, that working from home wasn't an option, like perhaps in production industries or the mechanical field or whatever. Is there a particular type of job that Express Employment staffs, or particular industries only, or is it for everyone?
Well, with Express, just to let you know about our great franchise, we have over 880 locations across the United States, Canada, Australia, and South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, so we are independently owned. We are a franchise. And what we have seen is different. It's different per region. We have a healthcare division, which does employ nurses, and that's outstanding. We have what we call specialty services, and that is your top-end executives. We place CEOs of companies, and that's something that, is unique to most staffing firms out there.
You said 880?
Yes, 880 locations. It's fantastic.
It is. That's amazing.
Yes.
And when it comes to staffing, this is what I'd like to kind of also be sure that we touch on. How has the candidate changed and that quality in your experience? We talked about people like the executive may have left, so now a junior employee is filling that role. Maybe they were trained, maybe they weren't. If you're taking Bob from accounting, and putting him
Right.
elsewhere. He may not be ready. But the candidate who's coming to get the job looking for employment, has that standard of individual changed in your experience?
It's changing now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And because I'm sure you have read in Crane's magazine that
Great periodical.
oh my goodness! You know, we have Facebook letting go of hundreds of people downtown Chicago. We have McDonald's now letting go of their top end 100 people. Corporate, you know, we have Accenture letting go of, you know, several hundred people. And this reminds me actually of 2008 and 9, where you have individuals that are being let go and they're looking for work. And these are quality top end people. Mm-hmm. So what I'm seeing is the associates walking in are tenured. I'm seeing associates walking in the door are very seasoned, which is amazing, and I love it.
What is the address of Express?
My address is 1135 Oak Street
Okay.
in North Aurora.
Can you put that in the chat, please, Gabriel? 1135 Oak Street in Aurora. And phone number?
Our phone number is 630-429-9113.
Check that out. Sounds they ready to buy that. Like, you know, call that number. Rewind that part. You for the listeners though, you are a singer as well.
Yes, I am.
Right. So you have presence on the microphone, which I'm sure the listeners will appreciate and they can definitely hear. So thank you very much for that. So in your experience
Yes.
in doing this, how did you get started? What was the you bought into the company during during the pandemic,
Right.
as you mentioned. But the passion for hiring folks and getting them jobs, what's its origin with you? Where did that come from?
Well, I started my career in early childhood.
Okay.
I worked for a great company called KinderCare Learning Centers.
Oh, wow. KinderCare.
Oh, yes.
Shouts out.
Oh,
Holy-
shouts out. Hey, always. I worked with them for 9 years. I started as a preschool teacher. I moved up to an assistant director, and then regional director. So I've always had a passion of teaching and training. And I wanted to do something different after 9 years. And I picked up the newspaper, a newspaper back then. And I saw something called staffing. And I thought to myself, what in the world is that? And I called this number, and it happened to be to a company downtown Chicago. And the owner actually answered the phone, and we spoke, and she said, come on in for an interview. And I discovered a second passion. I never thought that I would love anything more than I did teaching in early childhood. But wow, you know, just putting people to work and giving people an opportunity to pay their bills and giving people an opportunity to see that, you know, there are so many options out there, and the skills that we have and the skills that we were born with, the skills that we're blessed with, we can put all of that to work because the world of work is huge.
Right.
And staffing gives that exposure, in my opinion, because, you know, it's IT, it's medical, it's office, it's accounting, it's legal. Mm-hmm. It's amazing, right? And so, you know, just the excitement of somebody getting a job really warmed my heart. And I thought, you know, this is amazing. So I spent many years in staffing. I worked for some of the big guys. Mm-hmm. But my mentor, Dory Lorenz from the Salem Group.
In Oak Brook.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And we have that in common.
We do. We do.
You want to talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit, my
let's
friend?
do it.
Come
Absolutely.
on. Come
Absolutely.
on.
Absolutely. Yep. Finish. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, though.
That's okay.
Yep.
But yeah, so she took me under her wing, and I started out as an employment specialist, which is a recruiter. And then she moved me up quickly from her Deerfield location to her benchmark location, and that was downtown Chicago, of which I spent the majority of my career. And she is just an amazing human. She, promoted me to branch manager, so I understood the ins and outs of employing people internally as well as externally. And then she said to me, come with me on a sales call. Oh, boy. That opened up my world, and that, tapped into another skill set that I didn't even know I had, was sales. And then I thought, this is amazing, because now I get to go out and touch the world of clients out there and share with them what we do.
Right.
Because having been a recruiter, I know the ins and outs. I know what quality is. And I know the importance of selecting quality internally and providing those quality candidates to our clients. And I'm telling you, Chicago exploded. It was amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I had the opportunity to work in staffing, it was the Salem Group.
Yes.
A great friend of mine, Desiree Smith, now Desiree Battaglia, she got married, got me the job there at the Salem Group. They had opened up a new office, kind of sister SLS, Strategic Labor Solutions.
Yes.
So we were staffing for like in industrial type of jobs, but that was the first time in my life ever doing that, because before that, when I was looking for a job, I went to a staffing agency, Adecco,
Sure.
and got a job, been there. But working and actually being the staffing guy, it was very rewarding.
Yes.
It was very rewarding. I mean, I had people, because you're going through like Monster, Career Builder, and you're trying to match people with the jobs, and you're looking at their stuff. You're reading resumes all day. That's what I was like. And I got, call guys for a job, and hey, it's paying $14 an hour or whatever. They get a job, and sometimes they call you back crying.
Yes.
Like, yo, man, I know you're busy, but hey, man, thanks for giving me a job, man. You don't understand. I've been, I haven't had a job in 4 months, man. I'm trying to
Yes. It's life-changing.
It was it very much so. I went home every single day and felt like, wow, I really did something for humanity today. Like, I really felt very good and proud of myself. It was a job to be proud of.
It is. It is. And, sometimes we have individuals, everyone's got a story, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have individuals that walk in and are, I don't want to say hopeless, but maybe they've been through a lot.
Right.
And they take out their anger on us because maybe they've job topped too much, and my clients now are looking at resumes. I see that as a difference, by the way. And, there's nothing that I can do, because it's a request of my client. My client is, they give us parameters. They'll tell us, we need to do a background check, which we do anyway, or you need to do drug screening, or, whatever the skill sets they're requesting are. And most times now, these past 6 months, they're requesting resumes. And they're looking, and if people have job hopped, they're saying, no, I don't want that person.
Right.
And, then people kind of get angry because they look at us as their hope. They look at us as, well, you have to do something for me. Mm-hmm. And that's where the coaching comes in, where my team is great. I mean, I have to say, I have been blessed to have some of the best teams in my career.
Yeah.
And we will coach individuals if they want to sit down and listen, and give them a career path, and and help them identify holes, if you will, in their employment that clients are seeing, and how can we overcome that.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, I've had in my tenure, I've had my directors call me up in my previous career before purchasing this and say, I had somebody come in and buy my entire team a steak dinner. This is so fantastic. Or somebody will bring in flowers and say, thank you for this opportunity. And one lady, somebody bought her a watch. And I'll never forget those significant times. But I can say, throughout, there's definitely a pattern of 90%, and I can definitely say 90% of people are grateful to find work, and not just through Express, but through staffing firms alone. You know, people look at staffing and they go, but you know, you're a temp. No. These are individuals that are looking to get in the door of a company maybe they're not going to get in the door of.
Right.
We have opportunities to help them do that. So they're not just temps, okay? And that word to me is just some kind, it just gets up my neck. Because it lessens the individual skills, in my opinion.
And it lessens the job, too. It lessens the job that we're doing, or that you are doing.
Yes.
Yep. I was working there for like a couple days, and I was already tired of that term, temp agency.
Yes.
I was like, no, I'm not. This ain't no. There's nothing temporary about it. This company's looking for individuals. If they successfully fulfill this 5 months here, they got a job.
Yes.
Like, they will get hired.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk about the job hopping that you see on the resumes, because that was another thing that I noticed too. And my friend Desiree, so she squared my resume away, and she taught me like how it should look. You know, she really taught me how a resume, what's a captivating resume and one that's not. And the job hopping thing is really big, and for the benefit of young people too, they need to understand that, like, you know, you got 6 months here, you got 9 months there, you got 4 months here, and now here you come looking for a job. That's not showing me anything to build on. That's not showing me anything. There's no dedication there.
Exactly. And that's what leads me to share there are different types of staffing firms. You have staffing firms that are day labor.
Right.
Now, day labor staffing firms are exactly that. They're placing you for a day here, a day there, a short time frame, right? And typically, people coming from day labor firms have the job hopping because the staffing firm has placed them here, there, and everywhere.
Right, sure.
So what we share with people is, and I hope somebody out there listening needs to hear this, if you've worked for one staffing firm and they have sent you on several different assignments, if you will, that'll count as the tenure of working for that staffing firm.
Right.
So it's a matter of making sure you put it on your resume the right way.
Right. Say I was at Adecco
For a year.
Exactly. Not Chuck E. Cheese's.
Yes.
Target. Jewel. Right, exactly.
Yes, they may have placed you at those various places during that year, but you worked for them for a year.
The more you know. The more you know.
And that's important.
It is. Take us to a commercial. We're going to do a little bit of news. We're rocking it. All right. The time is 8:25 a.m. Good morning, everybody. Jennifer Ryan Mayton, Saul Olivas, Jonathan Rosenthal, actually awake earlier than this morning. Usually only catch the last few minutes. Well, Jonathan, we're glad that you are here. Jonathan Rosenthal is a photographer. You can get to know him and see his great work on Facebook by typing in his name. It's conveniently the name of his company. Works out good like that. If my mom would have named me Good Morning, right, and my middle name or something was Aurora, and be like, oh, Curtis's name is not Curtis. It's Good Morning, Aurora. You get it. Stephanie Clark Castillo, good morning to you. Josie Mendoza Geller is here. She says, congratulations, Saul, on being the newest EA school board member. Good job to you, Saul. Wendy Connell, Dan Barrero, dear friend of ours, and Fran Lee. Good morning to you all. Brett, give us Greenfest, and then pass the mic, baby.
Aurora Greenfest will return to Presco Community Center this spring after a 3-year hiatus due to the pandemic. The festival welcomes everyone to learn about being green from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 13th. Aurora Greenfest is a free and accessible event and will be open to all ages with family-friendly events and performances. Bates and a committed team of volunteers are part of Aurora Green Lights, a local group affiliated with the Conservation Foundation, which is dedicated to continuing the environmental festival.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, that's right, Greenfest. And you will have noticed that Brett has been out and about in the town spreading the word of Greenfest. We had Mavis Bates and we had Christina Campos on the show on Monday. Brett's got, where you got the news at? Where did you put all the flyers, Brett?
I went to downtown Batavia to like spread the word about the event as well, because I know that downtown Aurora already has all the info, so
Good.
might as well get a new by town to get some as well, right?
Thank you very much for that. All right. So Batavia, if you saw a young man walking around and proselytizing, about Greenfest, that was Brett. He's part of our team. Time is 8:27. Okay, listen to this. Safeguard your family's future. This free event is sponsored by WeSos, Women Entrepreneurs Secrets of Success. And it's going to be Tuesday, April 23rd from 6 to 7:45 p.m. in Warrenville, Illinois. Limited seating. Registration is required. We made a post about this on our Facebook page. It's about 8 posts down now. If you follow the show on LinkedIn, you will also see it there. It's also on Twitter if you have the tweet machine. Expert speakers panel, networking, and refreshments. So here's the speakers. Great people. Gianna Ferrari Ayers. She is a financial advisor with Edward Jones. Allison Sickos. She's an attorney with AMC Legal Group. Annie Kinsley, friend of ours, insurance representative of State Farm. And Bethany Prenano. She's an accountant with Vitality Tax and Advisory. So get ready for that. Now, I told you guys about this. I hope you got your tickets because I also saw that it's already almost sold out. So you're going to be salty if you wait till the last minute. Curtis said I could get a ticket. No, he did not. I said you got to be a subscriber and get 10%. It's a big difference. Purple Rain is the Prince tribute show. It's going to be Friday, August 11th at 8 p.m. Subscribers get 10% off the tickets. Prince may be gone, but his legend and incredible music endures with Purple Rain, recognized as the world's #1 Prince tribute band. No small measure. With songs like When Doves Cry, Little Red Corvette, and Purple Rain, the concert proves Prince was in a class all his own. The show sold out in 2018, so don't wait to get your tickets. And then there's the Happy Together Tour 2023, the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett, the Vogues, the Cowsills. And is this 6 or is that, which one is that? Is that 4?
That looks like 6.
That's 6, yeah. The Classics 6. We're trying to do the Roman numeral thing here, y'all. Yeah, now. I know them all except for 6, basically. Happy Together Tour 2023, the biggest and best music of the 60s and 70s, and it sells out every year. That's going to be Sunday, August 13th at 7 o'clock p.m. The time is 8:29 a.m. Brenda Rogers is here. Good morning, Brenda Rogers. Brenda Rogers is a great lady. She really is. Brenda Rogers was on our show in the early days of Good Morning Aurora, and I appreciate Brenda Rogers and everybody who was listening to us at that time so very much. It's because of great listeners and fans and subscribers and supporters like all of you people that we are here delivering the news and the very best that Aurora has to offer every single day. All right. So, I'll share a little something. So after Strategic Labor Solutions, I then went to work for a company in downtown Chicago. At that time, a 5-year-old, burgeoning, upcoming tech company, which was my real first administrative, job. I was an account coordinator, they called me.
Okay.
I did that. Now, this is important because as I mentioned, my friend Desiree, who worked for Salem Group, I was a Navy veteran. Okay, I was trying to transition to, you trying to climb up the ladder.
Right.
Unfortunately, what started to happen was I started getting typecast. Unfortunately, no matter despite how stellar my resume was, all the opportunities open to me were I'm not. I already lifted pallets and all that, I've got goals, but I started getting typecast, unfortunately, and my friend Desiree showed me how to clean up my resume, and
Yes.
that stopped happening. So I got this job as an account coordinator, and I did it so good, I did it so well because I was so happy to be doing that kind of thing that they asked me to come to the HR team for this company.
Okay.
So at the HR team, you onboard new people for these different offices.
Right.
And I read background checks and hired people all day. And I never forgot that. I never forgot like how I felt when I got that job at the staffing agency, and I was like, okay, wow, I'm giving people jobs now. Then I got a job.
Yes.
I was really well employed, and I was doing the same thing. And I didn't forget. And I was like, okay, I'm in a really good place. But here's the point of the issue, background checks. You know, barriers to employment or people who may have issues with backgrounds, things like that. Let's talk. How has that changed from in your career? Have you seen any shifts? I personally have. I see that there's a lot more employers and companies who will exercise a little bit more flexibility within the rules of law and decency. It's not too bad.
Right.
I see a little bit of a lessening and letting people be employed. What's your take of that? Have you noticed that?
Well, I wish there was a lot more.
Okay.
I truly do. I know that it's 7 years, obviously.
Right.
Is the legal statute, if you will, and anything that is a year or 2 years or whatever, depends if it's a felony, if it's a misdemeanor, and things of that nature. And sometimes many times we come across individuals that maybe got a felony when they were young, and in the past 7 years they had to do labor for individuals that didn't require background checks, and sometimes they were paid cash.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're trying to get back in the labor force. So what I'm trying to do is align my business up with companies here in the Fox Valley area that are open to working with individuals that do have a background. There's a lot of talent out there.
There is.
There is. And right now I think I can name 3 that I know of that, are background friendly, is what we call it. And it's heartbreaking because we have opportunities to train individuals and help them succeed on the express end, okay? We have, as I said, Workforce Pro, which are actually training modules, many of them in various verticals that are free for our associates, and they can actually get certification in that. So I think sometimes we stereotype individuals. As you were saying, you had to change your resume so you can get recognized for the skill sets that you had outside of picker packer or, forklift driver and those types of things. But yeah, I am an activist in this community in the Fox Valley area. And that is definitely part of my ministry, is getting out into churches and talking to individuals. And hopefully I'm on the Workforce Development Board. I'm on the board of directors for the Aurora Regional Chamber, as you know. I'm also on the board of directors of the Lazarus Shelter, the Lazarus House in St. Charles. And I am on those boards, not for self-acclaim or, oh, look at me, I'm on 3 boards. It's to really be an activist in this community and help people understand, okay, number 1, we have individuals in the shelter that need a second chance, right? They knocked on that door, which is the hardest thing to do. The most difficult thing to do for most people is to knock on the door and say, can you please help me?
Right.
And so they're asking for help. And the Lazarus House is amazing with programs that we offer individuals while they're at the house, right? But the working solution, again, it's like, here's the deal. If we can get people into programs, hands-on programs that allow people to come in maybe as an intern, okay?
Yep.
And then work their way up, we need to be more open-minded to that, is my point.
Absolutely.
And that is definitely my mission. This is just the beginning of, being on this show and definitely purchasing my staffing firm. The reason why I purchased that staffing firm is to do just this, is to get in the community and have a platform, an offering to people to come in and be trained, but also a platform to offer clients. Okay, you're not in this alone, Mr. Client. You've
Right.
got Express to support you here. Keep these people on our payroll, not a problem. We'll train them up for you. What do you want us to do? So that's the mission.
Right.
That's the vision.
Yep. Yep. And it's powerful. And to reiterate too, what we're talking about, like we're talking about people who, I mean, you could have a DUI
Right.
on your record, which could bar you from employment.
Yes.
You could have, I mean, you could have done it. It is just the myriad of shades that the law can apply to mess you up now. There was guys who were, you know, because you look, Oracle,
Yes.
that was the first time in my life I ever, I felt like that was amazing. And that's why Desiree Battaglia, we will be friends forever. I was always the guy being judged.
Of course.
I never had the opportunity. Now I'm the guy looking, right? Okay, I'm doing the math in my head. Okay, wait a minute. 1988, right?
Right.
Class 2, whatever, 1988. This guy's 51.
Right.
Oh, 51 years old trying to get a job making $14 an hour.
Right. I know.
It's sad. It's just like, I'm giving him that. Oh, yeah, you come on.
This is
Carl, call him up, you know?
Well, exactly.
It's just, and yeah.
I'm right there with you, Curtis.
Yep.
And I feel like there's a lot of judging that needs to be removed. I feel like you never know if it could happen to you, you know, specifically, you know, talking about a DUI or whatever.
Right.
You know, life happens, and, you know, people get stuck sometimes, but they don't need to pay for it for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
And that's where, as a community, we need to come together. We need to discuss this. We need to come up with a solution instead of just holding people back, and then you wonder why people continue in crime.
Exactly.
Well,
Right.
Well, if you're not working, what you supposed to do?
Exactly.
What you supposed to do?
Yep.
Yes, you can go and start your own business, hopefully. There's a lot of that happening. That's a beautiful thing. I love entrepreneurship. But for individuals that don't have those opportunities, those are the opportunities as a community we need to open doors to. You know, and anybody out there hearing me, you know, seriously, give me a call, and I will definitely work with individuals to get into your company. We can do this together. We can open doors for people. We can heighten skill levels of individuals. And the thing that I want people to understand is when you give people an opportunity, you've got a committed person. You've got somebody who's going to be in alignment with you because you gave them a chance. And there is no better feeling. You will have somebody that is going to work right alongside you and say, what can I do for you?
Absolutely.
And that's what we need to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what's powerful. I would go out, because you would get these guys jobs, and you go to I was proactive. Like, you know, you got to be at, you know, Monday night. Some of them are night shift jobs. So, you know, Monday night, be at the location, steel toe boots,
Right.
Safety glasses, right? You guys start at 7. I was there at 6:30. I need you guys, and you give these guys that job, and they're there.
Right.
They're not about to mess that up.
And
They're not about to mess that up. They never let you down.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's what you look at. But during COVID, it was people's times to kind of rebel, if you will. It was like, okay, well, you need me? I'm an essential worker right now. You were paying me $14 an hour. Now I want to make 15. Then it was 16. Then it was 17. I remember when I first came, you know, to Express, our forklift drivers were making $15 an hour. Now they make 20.
Wow.
Okay? And that was because there was kind of, in my opinion, a rebellion there. It was like, now you see how you need me.
Yes.
Now you see the skills that I bring.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
And now you see that it takes 2 incomes for my family to just make ends.
Right.
Now we can breathe a little bit.
Right.
So that, I think, was a good thing that happened out of COVID, because I think people were definitely underpaid.
Right.
Wow, skilled labor is so important. It's so key to industry. It's so key to manufacturing. It's key to everything you're looking at. Truck drivers, nothing gets to your table unless it's provided by a truck. Well, who's driving that truck?
Right.
A skilled labor person called a truck driver, right? And those individuals, people look down, oh, it's a truck driver. Really?
Right.
See, that's the mindset that needs to be changed.
That's right.
That's
right.
That's the mission. So work with me here, Curtis. Let's get out into the community with that camera back there, and let's share with people. Seriously, this has got to change.
Absolutely,
it has to change.
Absolutely. Well, we will help. We will help to be that mouthpiece to spread the good word, and we will, like we talked about before the camera came on. Yeah, we'll be out there and we'll do some stuff.
Awesome.
We'll show it to the people.
All right.
And in that realm of skilled labor, there was also which I have not forgotten. I did learn a very valuable lesson when staffing, though, too. There were like 2 jobs that I think we capped. I think the highest job that we paid, if I'm not mistaken, was years ago. I think it was like $23 or $24 an hour was the highest. I can't really recall. But there was a job that we were always having in the office. We all had to think, man, if somebody could fill that job. There was a really good like electrician job or something like that. We were always trying to find candidates who could fill that job. That employer was like, need this job filled. So it was a contest. And I'm a ambitious guy. So I was like, I'm going to find somebody to fill that job. Well, I got this guy. We talked for days. He was like, what's it paying? I told him what it was paying. And I remember he was like, I don't know. And I remember at that time in my life and in my career, I was thinking, you don't know? Boy, I would have took, right? Are you serious? With the increase $2 in the next couple of months?
Right.
Like, boy, I would have taken that job. So he called me back one day, right? I got there early and he called up. Because he told me before, I got to talk it over with my wife. I was like, all right. So he called me back and he said, Mr. Spivey, I'm gonna pass. And I remember thinking, like, you gonna pass? And he started talking to me. He said, that's not enough money for me. He said, I went to school when I was X age and all that. And I've been in this job a long time, man. He was like, I started he was like, I was the dude getting people lunch on the job site. And I worked my way up a long time, man. It's nothing personal, Mr. Curtis. It's nothing against you in the agency. I just can't work that low.
Right.
He's like, I can't do that. And I was like, damn. And I respected that. Mm-hmm. Respect.
Yeah.
I felt that.
Yes, you have to value yourself.
You got to value yourself. Know your worth, man. Know your worth. He knew his worth.
Yes. I
but
totally
he needed
agree.
a job so bad that he took days to think about it. Had to ask his wife. And I was thinking about myself like, wow, that's deep. Because I didn't have that skin in that game, in that industry. I didn't have that. So I'm just looking at him as like, I need to get that accolade from me.
Right.
But that's his life.
Yes.
That stuck with me all these years. And I've been trying in my own way to either magnify his story to other people and let them know their worth, and even with myself.
Yes.
I told these guys at the last staff meeting, don't work for some company. Don't give a company 8 years of your life when you only going to go so far up the ladder. Have the forethought now to see how far you can go with the company. Don't give nobody 10 years of your time. Know when you've got to the top, and then, right?
Utilize those skills.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And that's certainly what I've done. I've learned along the way, and, I started out as a recruiter, and here I am, providing people with jobs in this great Fox Valley community. But, I couldn't agree with you more, Curtis. I have a job right now on the table, direct hire, starting at $70,000, which is negotiable. Okay, that's great. I have several candidates who are coming in, and I know the culture of the company that I'm hiring for. And when somebody says to me, "I'll just take it, I just need a job," no, see,
red flag.
Yes, and it is a red flag to what you were saying. It's because if I present you to the client with that type of attitude, the client is going to look at me and say, "Carolyn, where was your discernment? Carolyn, you're providing me with someone that may just walk out of here when they get the next opportunity."
See, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And they will walk out with the next opportunity. And then you have some that seriously just want a chance. So you really, on my end, need to get to know who the candidate is.
Right.
You need to understand what their background is, because there are some people who do want to change. So if you're coming out of one industry and you're trying to get into a different industry, like I did, going from education to staffing, you have to make a concession where you may not start where you ended.
Right.
I certainly didn't, but I was making a career change.
Right.
So there's the difference, and that's where a good recruiter is going to recognize when they're sitting with their candidate and doing a very deep behavioral interview. See, it's not just about the skill sets when we place somebody. Okay, that's pretty much a given, right? You want to get to know the person, their personality, and you get to know the personality and the culture of that client, and that's what you pair. Because, for example, myself, I'm very outgoing. I could be very loud. And I could not be in an environment that was quiet, that you could hear a pin drop. There's no way.
Right.
Okay? I'd be out. It'd be like, "See ya."
Right.
And there's individuals that love that type of environment, that love to just work isolated. So you have to find out who your candidate is.
Right.
And then you have to find out who your client is. That's staffing. See, that's what I love, is making that match.
Yep.
I get all excited.
No, yeah. No, I understand it. I'm actually
exciting.
I'm happy that I could share it with you, because like, clients will take you out to their facility.
Yes.
They'll be like, "Hey, come take a walk around the production plant." And then you're right. So we're walking around with the helmet on and the safety glass. You're like, "Wow, so yeah, we're looking for candidates to do this and that." You're like, "Okay, cool." Right. And then you're thinking about the people that you're talking to.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. And you're like, "I got a guy named Bill. He'll be perfect for this job."
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. It is a good feeling. I'm blessed that I got to. I'm thankful that I got a chance to be a staffing recruiter for that 9 months that I did it. It was an eye-opening experience, and it changed my life.
Yes, and you see the other side.
I did.
And with Express, the reason why I chose Express as a franchise is because we have great training tools, again, for our clients, workforce, frontline solutions. I mean, our clients can actually go online and go into different verticals of training themselves. That's what we offer for the clients as well as our associates. But more so than that, we make sure, and you talked about safety, we make sure that before we even place an associate, we're doing a safety walk.
Right.
And we're going in and we're making sure, but not only that, we're meeting with the managers that our associates are going to be working with, to get a sense of what are they looking for? Who do they benchmark? Why do they benchmark that person? What are some KPIs? What are some key performance indicators, right? And that's what we need to pair together. Because, see, we want to make sure that the client gets a good fit, and most times, it's like a 90% fit. And then sometimes you get people who they interview well, the client interviews them, you think it's going to be a fit, and it's not.
Right.
Okay? So then you move on. But that's the key factor, is making sure that, the associate also is set up for success. You never want to put an associate looking for work in a situation that you've not been in. It's just like, how would you like it if you're walking up to, say, to be a receptionist and nobody told you, oh, there's 20 lines coming in. They
Right.
didn't tell you anything about the job. And now you've never worked a 20-line, incoming phone system. And so now you feel inadequate.
Right.
So now you say, I got to get out of here. And that's why a lot of people walk off jobs. See, there's reasons behind it. Some people walk off jobs because that's just who they are, but that's very rare, Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Most people walk off jobs because they weren't told what the environment was.
Yeah. It only happened to me like twice. Yeah.
And that's just not, I don't know.
There's a phrase for it, setting people up for success.
Yes.
Set them up for success, not failure.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's what it's about. Staffing needs to be, and this is what I learned from Dory, staffing needs to be more than coming in and just placing, and people think, oh, you're getting all this revenue from staffing and things of that nature. It's more than that. You're a partner with the client. Your name is synonymous with that client.
That's right.
And if you don't understand what that client is looking for, that client is going to look for another partner.
And that's where discernment comes in. That's right. That's right. That's why I was always at the job site. Wherever I told you, wherever the first, I'm there.
Yes.
You are representing me going up in here.
Yes.
So you're not just working at Whole Foods. You're representing me.
Right.
Oscar called me to get a person here. So don't go in there messing around. Squared away every day on time.
Right.
It's a good relationship.
It is. And the same thing with Express. I'll go back to my great company that I'm blessed to be a franchisee with. The reason, I shared a little bit earlier why I chose, and I looked at other franchise opportunities with different staffing firms. And the main reason why I chose Express is because they wanted to know about me. They wanted to know what my morals were. They wanted to know not so much that I had a staffing background, because we have owners that have never been in staffing that rock it. Seriously, they are awesome because they care about people first. And that's what's important to Express. And when they, literally sat me down in virtual at the time because it was COVID, and I was in a room amongst all these people from corporate headquarters in Oklahoma, and I was like, holy jeepers. They're throwing questions at me that were all about my values.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that.
Yep.
I was like, you don't just care about what I can do? You mean you really care about who I am?
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Yep.
And then I go to corporate, and in front of and I'm a licensed minister, so this means a lot to me personally. I go to corporate, and in front of the building it says, "In God we trust." And they actually live those values.
Mm-hmm.
I have never had more support from a corporate entity, and I've worked for the big guys, than I do from Express.
Yep.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They are truly amazing. And I say that with all respect and honor to the ones that work really hard at our corporate level to support all the owners out there. And again, 880 of us.
Worldwide. Worldwide.
Indeed.
The time's 8:55 a.m. Good morning, everybody. All of you great people. We have a great show for you guys today. This is a great discussion. Express Employment Professionals. Can you give the listeners the address and phone number one more time, please?
Absolutely. Express Employment Professionals is located at 1135 Oak Street. We're right next to the sushi station in North Aurora.
Go there after you go to Express.
Yes, indeed. The phone number is 630-429-9113. We'd love
Wonderful.
to hear from you.
Wonderful. If you or someone you know is in need of employment in the area, please contact and reach out to Express Employment Professionals. They will get you squared away. The time is 8:56 a.m. Tanya Traverso is here. Monica, another super awesome happy birthday to you, Monica. Josie Mendoza-Geller, Amy McDermott, and Michael Rayford. Well, we'll be in touch.
All right.
Stay in touch. Let us know what you got going on. Let's see if we can get something on the calendar for ourselves in the next couple of weeks or so.
Sounds great.
Come on out there and maybe shoot a video or just do something. Maybe make an episode at the office or anything we could do. If you go somewhere, let us know. We'll come there and bring the stuff.
I will. It's been an honor, Curtis. Thank you.
Same.
You
Same.
are awesome, and
Same.
I love your staff.
Same. I'm glad I met you.
They are just amazing humans.
They are.
It's a blessing to be here, so thank you so much.
Yep. The show ends on a positive note. What is your message today for the people of Aurora?
Well, my message is to find joy in each other. Understand that everyone has a story. Hopefully, when we recognize that everyone has a story, we will be very limited to judge individuals. I think that's the most important. That's the key. But really just find joy. Just walk outside and look at the beautiful trees that are about to bud. It is just phenomenal. This beautiful place that we get to live, we get to wake up to every day. Just enjoy life and find out, what your skill sets are. Definitely, go find that out and don't settle because you are enough.
Words of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you guys have a blessed, a positive, and a prosperous day today. Good Morning Aurora will return on Friday with another great show and another great round of interviews as well, and all the news that you love. As we always tell you, take care of yourself and each other.
Amen.